Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Alright, so if you were part of us in the first video, yeah, I would like to say first of all congratulations for joining us thus far. Yeah, for joining us thus far. So yeah, today we'll be delving right into HTML and the basics. And if you were with us in the previous class, you know in the previous class we made use of our git bash. This is git bash, and if you don't know what the git bash is, I think you should just go back and watch the previous videos and see what we did in the last video. Yeah. So all these things I'm doing, you'll be able to like do them when you watch the previous video. Yeah. I think we moved into soft journey, but today's class will be more of HTML and the basics of HTML. So all these ones I'm just doing is just to like recap of what we did last week. Yeah, recap of what we did last week. Excuse me. So all these are just recap of what we did. So if you were in the class last week, we were able to like create this Altschool Africa folder right from the GUI. Yes. So let's just look at what we did last week. So we came to soft journey, which is this folder here, soft journey. And in soft journey we created this folder, which is the Altschool, and here's our sample 5 where we moved our sample 3 into, and where we have our linux.txt file. So for those of us who were in the last class, you know how we got there and everything. Okay, so all these ones don't really matter. So this video is mainly on CSS, on HTML. So this video is just going to focus mainly on the basics of HTML. So first things first, I think you need you need your VS Code to like to be able to write your HTML. There are other like there are other softwares that you can use to write code. You have the Notepad, you have there were about a bunch of them that you can use, but for the sake of this video, I'll be making use of Visual Studio Code. Whatever we are going to be doing on Visual Studio Code is applicable on all softwares that we can use in writing codes. Whatever we are doing on VS Code can be used on all other softwares that we use for writing codes like Notepad and the likes. But for the sake of this video, I'll be using Visual Studio Code. So first things first, you go on Google and type your Visual Studio Code so you can download it, because you have to download it first before you use it. Yeah, so Visual Studio Code, this is right there. Click on it, download for Windows. So if you are using a MacBook, you are going to see download for Mac. You understand? If you are using a Linux system, you are going to see download for Linux. So I think the website itself, it recognizes the device you are using basically, and just presents you with what works basically. So so you click on download for Windows, and it's going to take you to this page where you are going to download. But because I already have it on my device, I will not be downloading it. So rather, I'll just go to my search bar. I'll go to my search bar and type in Visual Studio Code. Look at it right here. Visual Studio Code. And click on open. Yeah. So this is our Visual Studio Code. So when you open your Visual Studio Code, you are going to see something similar like this, telling you welcome, start the file, open folder, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. All these ones don't matter, or they matter. So if you want to create a new file on Visual Studio Code, this is where you go to, or you can as well just come here, click on file, new window, open file. Like everything you can see here, everything you can see here, you can also see it when you go to file here. Do you understand? Everything you can see here, you can also see it when you go to file here. So yeah. So where were we? So now we need to create our first HTML document. But in order to create our first HTML document, there are some things that you need on your VS Code. They are not like compulsory like that, but in order to have like a smoother and enjoyable experience while working with your Visual Studio Code, you just have to like download these things just so your VS Code can look very techy. So you understand, so it can look very nice and fine. So first things first, we are going to download Prettier as spelled Prettier, Prettier. So this is it. So what Prettier does for you is to like give your code some kind of color, just to give it some kind of feel. You understand? It's supposed to make your code look good. You understand? So look at it here. The Prettier extension, this extension will use Prettier from the project local dependencies. So I don't think this is what it does. Okay, yeah, it's a code formatter. So what code formatting means is more like it is a style. Yeah, it enforces a consistent style by passing your code and reprinting it with its own rules that take the maximum line length into account, wrapping code when necessary. So Prettier just makes your code look pretty, just like the word. So you just have to like come here, click install. But because I have it installed already, I can uninstall it and install it again, Like it's as simple as just plug and play. Just click on it and it's going to download and install itself. So that's for Prettier. The second thing we are going to be looking at is live server. So this is live server. So what live server does is when you write a code and you want to run your code, live server is the one that helps you to run your code. So it creates a server for you on which your code can run, and you can view your code, and you can touch and see if your code is responsive, or if your code is working, or if there's any issue with your code. Maybe you wrote a text and the text is not as bold as you want it to be, and you just want to view what the code looks like on a page. Live server is what helps you live server takes your code to a website and displays it for you, just like this video here. Can you see what is playing here? So this code that is written here is what is translated into this. So as you are working on your code, it's reflecting on your live server. Do you understand? Now lastly, there's something they didn't tell us to install during our Altschool program, but I feel like every one of us will need it, which is Bito AI. It's more like ChatGPT, yeah. So what this does is, rather than leaving your code or leaving VS Code to go to your browser to go and search, how do I change this from this to this? How do I do this from this to this? This ChatGPT is inbuilt into your VS Code. It's inbuilt into your VS Code. So when you open your VS Code and probably you encounter issues, you can just within your VS Code, rather than going to another browser, you can within your VS Code ask questions. And during the course of this program, or during the course of this video, I'm going to like explain further how the ChatGPT works. So you're just going to, it's more like plug and play. Like I said, plug and play. Once you see it, chat GPT, or you can just type Bito AI, that's Bito dot AI, Bito AI. So just install, and once it's installed, you're going to see okay, so it's telling us to download it manually. Yeah, so once it's downloaded manually, I don't think it's going to be like any serious issue like that, because it's going to install itself. So while we are waiting for it to install, okay, I think it's done downloading now. Um, yeah, it's done downloading. Let me go to my, so, yeah, yeah. So I think it's done downloading. So we can go to our VS Code, install. Look at it. If you look to the bottom right, yes, bottom right, my bottom right, you see install from VSIX. So it's going to install. You go to where you downloaded it from, click on this and install, and it's going to install. As you can see here, look to this place. There's this. Look here. Can you guys see what I'm saying? Can you see what I'm saying? This is the Bito AI. So you can just click on it and it's going to like give you the features. So as you can see, let's start. So you click on let's start, open. So I think you have to log in first to become to use the Bito AI. There are a number of AI softwares embedded within the VS Code that you could use. But my favorite to use is Bito AI. Yeah, my favorite to use is Bito AI. So it just wants you to like do the usual. You're welcome to Bito, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Nothing serious. You understand? So you can just close it and sign in, because you have to sign in as well. So for this case, I'm going to be signing in with my mail. So yeah, I have to check my mail. All these things I'm doing, you're going to do them as well. So you have to check your mail for confirmation code, which is so because I'm on the free plan, people is telling me I'm on a free plan. So what are we going to do now? We don't have money to start paying for all these other stuff. Yeah, so now we are in Bito on the free plan. So now let's say for instance we can say something like how do I start how do I start my HTML? Wow, we can enter and it's going to just generate answers. So when you're having problems with coding, because it's natural, we are going to have problems basically. Not like we are going to have problems, but we are going to run into complex situations that require that we have to ask Google for help. So this is like your Google. So you can be looking at your code, looking at what ChatGPT gives you, and you can compare and see, what am I missing? What do I need to change? What requires extra attention and stuff like that. So this is going to help you a lot, and promise me you're going to enjoy it. Promise me you're going to enjoy it because it is free. It is free, you're not paying for anything unless you want to upgrade to another class. And I think the upgrade comes with some other extra features that you can use. But for now, we are just going to stick with the free plan. Unless you have some money to like, I don't know how much the plan costs, but yeah. That's that for Vito AI. Then in a bit, I'm going to show you how to use the live server. So now we have done installing all like the major extensions, more like features. So these are called extensions: the Vito AI, the live server, and the prettier. They are called extensions, or you can call them features if you like. So we are going to close this, and close this. Now we are back to our welcome page. Now, before you start anything on your VS Code, you have to create a folder for every project you work on. So if for instance you're working on a project that has so many other files attached, you can't just leave them anywhere on your desktop, or you can't just leave them anywhere within your documents. So you have to create a special folder for them. So in our previous class, we created a folder already, which is the Altschool Africa folder, where we have sample 1, sample 2 to 5. So we are going to use that folder for our classes, or for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to use our Altschool Africa folder. So you just click on open folder, and like I said, if you are not really used to opening, or if this is not available for you, I'm sure it's going to be available, but just in case it is not available for you, you can just come to file, open folder. You have the shortcuts already, Ctrl K or Ctrl O, whichever one works. So you can just click on open folder. And so in our previous class, we went to our desktop. In our desktop, we went to soft journey, and in soft journey we have Altschool Africa. So you are going to open the folder, then click select folder. So when you select folder, something like this will pop up. Something like this will pop up. Then you can now choose which of the folders you want to work in. So now, for instance, this is our .txt file that we created, but this time around we want to create our first HTML document. And one thing about VS Code is, even within a folder, you can decide to create a folder, you can decide to create a file. You don't have to like go outside VS Code. Within VS Code, you don't have to go outside VS Code to go and create a folder and stuff like that. Or you don't even have to like go to your git bash to go and create a folder, because that was where we created the folder from. You could just come, look at these panels here. These panels that are visible here. Look at them, these panels. What this one does is create a new file. What this one does is create a new folder. What this one does is refresh your folder. And what this one does is collapse your folder. You see, like this one was open before, and you just had to like close it. So yeah, so those are just like some of the basic things that you can just do from within your VS Code. So you can choose to create a new text file, you can choose to create a new file, you can choose to create new window, open file, open folder, like whatever you want to do. You can just find your way around everything. But for the sake of this video, because it's for just the basic HTML and we've not even started talking about HTML yet, so in order to create your first file, you could come here and click on new file, or you could come here and create new file. But when you create new file, it's going to save in the Altschool Africa folder. It's going to save in the Altschool Africa folder. What if, for instance, you want to create a new file within sample 1 folder? You just come to sample 1, click on sample 1, then click on new file. Now what this does is create a file within sample 1. Excuse me. What this does is create a new file within sample 1. But there are other ways to like create new files. You could just come here and new text file. When you click on new text file, it just gives you a blank space, a blank flag that you can work on, a blank page for you to work on. Now, what you want to do is save this file with the name of the extension you want to save it as. So for some of these files, we have the .html, .css, .js, .ts. .js is JavaScript, .ts is TypeScript, .py is Python. Like, there are various extensions you can save your folders, but for the sake of this program, we are going to be saving our file with .html. So most files, because when you open a page, the first thing you see is known as index file. Like when you buy a book and you open the first page, you see a blank page. That blank page is known as the index page because it is the first page in a book. So this is the first page in our folder or in our website. Let's just keep it that way. So you just do index.html, Control S. Control S is shortcut for save. So what this does is give us a place where we can save our files. Now you can decide to save it in sample 3 that is embedded within sample 5, or you can go outside sample 5, go to the soft journey folder, open your Altschool Africa. You can decide to locate the folder where you want to save the file. Do you understand? But for the sake of this video, we are just going to be saving it in the Altschool Africa folder, not within any of the sample 1, sample 2 to 5. Do you understand? So just click on save. And what this does is save our file as HTML document. So now look at it. Automatically it has been saved and it has been displayed here. This is our file here. Can you see this? This is our file here. So our file is accessible. We can decide to click on other folders, yada yada yada, whatever, and everything is just going to look the same. But look, this is our file here. Now there's what is known as a boilerplate. Or before that, let me just show you what Live Server does. So you come to the top of your screen here and just click on Live Server. Or you can, I think there's something shift. Yeah, so shift greater than sign. I don't know what greater than sign is called in English, but let's ask our Vito. What is another name? What is another name for the greater than sign? What's this doing? Okay, yeah. Okay, so the greater than, another name for greater than sign is the greater than operator in mathematics. Or okay, yeah, it's actually correct. Yeah, the greater than operator, the greater than sign, or the greater than operator. So that's AI for you. Yeah, so now this is our blank index.html. So you just come to the bar here, search bar, shift, or you write your greater than sign and click on Live Server, open with Live Server. And let's see what this does. Now it gives us a blank page. Why does it give us this blank page? Because we have nothing within our HTML file. We have absolutely nothing. Our HTML file is as empty comes. So what do we do? The old ways of doing this was to like create tags, HTML, and what this does is it's going to tell the browser that this file is an HTML file. But for every file, there's an opening tag and there's a closing tag. So what I have just written here, let me just zoom in. What I have just written here is my opening tag. This is the opening tag HTML. Now this is the closing tag HTML. So this is your closing tag. So your closing tags always come with the left arrow key and a forward slash. That's the only thing that differentiates a closing tag from an opening tag. That's the only thing, because an opening tag just has the lesser than sign, then whatever tag you want to use. But in this case, we are using HTML because we want to like create an HTML file. Do you understand? We want to create an HTML file, so HTML with the closing tag. My HTML, my VS Code always keeps completing my code for me, but because of this lesson, we want to like make sure that we do everything manually. You understand? So now we want to create a closing tag. This is lesser than sign forward slash then HTML followed by greater than sign. So like this, what you can see here is called our HTML first line of code. But then within the HTML, there's something known as the head and the body. This is what I mean. You press your enter, then the head, the same way we created the HTML tags, we are going to do the same thing for the head. So lesser than sign, head, close it, and to create the closing tag of the head, lesser than sign forward slash head, then close the tag. So this place, this particular place is known for, this space is meant for links. So in some websites, you see some websites where they have different font sizes, different links, links to your CSS, links to your JavaScript, links to your TypeScript, like anything that has to do with link goes inside your head file, inside this head tag. The space between these two tags is where you put your links. You understand? So now we have to go out of the head tag. Now all these things we are doing is within we are wrapping it within the HTML file. So let me create a drawing. I don't know if that's possible. Okay, so let me see if I can do that here. So now this is chocolate. I hope you can see what I'm drawing basically. I hope you guys can see it. So this is chocolate. This is chocolate. This is known as the HTML. Sorry, don't mind my handwriting. This is known as the HTML. The HTML, or how do I put this now? Okay, let's do it like this. This big circle is the HTML. How do I write this now? HTML. So this is the HTML. Now within the HTML we have our head. This is head. But the next one we are going to have is not inside our head, but inside our HTML. So which is body. The HTML tag covers both the body and the head. So whenever you want to do something on your or whenever you want to create like an HTML file, just know that both the body and the head are within the HTML tag. Do you understand? The same way my head is between my hands. My head is between my hands. These are my HTML tags, and this is the body, and this is the head. Do you understand? I hope that explains it better. This is the HTML tag, HTML opening tag, HTML opening tag, HTML closing tag. This is both tags. This is my head. This head is between both tags. Is inside both tags, and body is between the HTML tags, but they are both different. Do you understand? The head stands alone, the body stands alone, but they are both within the HTML tag. Hope you understand. I hope that's explanatory enough, Sha. I hope you understand. So yeah, so that's the HTML head tag. So now we are going to create our body tag. And how do we create our body tag? The same way we've been creating our tags all along. Body, close tag. Body. I'm trying. How do I even stop this thing? Sorry. Body. Then we want to close the tag. Then we close the tag. Body. So this is the way they've been writing codes from time immemorial. You have your HTML, you have your head, and you have the body. The body is where the text goes. This is where the text goes. This is where your text goes. So let's say, for instance, you want to say, you want to write something that you want. Let's say you want to write something that should be visible on the screen. You understand? Let's say you want to write something that should be visible on the screen. You put it within the body tag. You understand? Everything you see on the website is within the body tag. Every single thing you see on the website, like as you can see, it's every single thing by like text, image, video, what else? Like anything you can see, logo, pictures. As long as you can see it, just know it is embedded within the body tag. So when you see a website, for instance, let's say, let's see if we can go to a website and see things for ourselves. Let's say www. Okay, let's use freepik.com because I am a graphic designer. I use freepik a lot. So every single thing you see on this page, every single thing. This is the logo. This is text. This is text. Every single thing you see on this page are embedded within the body tag. Everything you see is embedded within the body tag. We'll go in further classes. We are going to explain how all these boxes are created and everything. But before you can go into that, you have to know how to structure your website, and that is what HTML does. HTML gives you structure. HTML helps with creating the frame. Yes, HTML helps creating the body frame, the skeleton. Yes, let's just put it that way. HTML is the skeleton of your website. So when you see a website that looks, how would I do this now? There are some websites that look like there's no text. How would I do this? I think there's a BBC without CSS. I think there used to be something like that. There used to be BBC without CSS. Yeah. So something like you will just see a page that looks like this. No design, no nothing, just plain text. Just plain text, no pictures, no nothing, no structure, no, like there's structure, but there's no much design to it. That's what HTML does. That's what HTML provides us with. So you get. So this is the body. Everything you see on that page goes into the body. But with advent of new technologies and innovations and forward-thinking people, they with through BS Code, they've been able to like come up with faster ways to like create some of these things. So you see the way I had to like type in HTML, head, body, then closing tag and everything. All these things have been simplified using BS Code. So, in order to create this, the shortcut is to type the exclamation mark. You can type 1, you can type 2, you can type 3. With the exclamation mark, it gives you a boilerplate. So, everything here, everything you can see here is known as a boilerplate. Every single thing you can, from the HTML, the head, the body, to the HTML opening tag, HTML closing tag, this is the header tag, and this is the body tag. All these together are known as boilerplate. This is a this is the standard template you use in creating your HTML files. So this is the standard way you're creating your HTML file. But with the advent of technology and people coming up with interesting innovations, they've come up with easier ways to. So rather than taking your time to like type all the long opening tag, closing tag, everything. If you notice, while I was coding, VS Code was also helping me complete my code in no time. So rather than me thinking of, am I pressing the right arrow button, am I using the right closing tag, am I using the right forward slash button, or all those things, VS Code has let me cut that journey in half. So once I just type the opening tag, what is VS Code knows that I will obviously need a closing tag and just create it for me. Sure, you understand? But in this case, we are trying to create a boilerplate. So by creating a boilerplate, you just type in the exclamation mark. You can type 1, you can type 2, you can type 3, depending on your choice. Then all you have to do is either you press enter or you hover your mouse and click on the suggestion made by VS Code, and voila. Oh, sorry. And voila, it gives you a boilerplate. So you see everything that we have here that we have to take time to type, VS Code has given us by just clicking on the exclamation mark. Now, which one would you prefer? Would you prefer to like start typing your HTML code one by one, line by line, precept upon precept, all those kind of things? You get all those ones are stressful, and life is supposed to be easier. That's the whole essence of technology. Technology is supposed to make your life easier and seamless. Do you understand? And that's what VS Code has done. As you can see, we have our HTML opening tag. This lang here simply means language. So obviously, VS Code has like even thought of the things you can't even think of. This is language. This is our head. And when did I tell you what did I tell you goes into our head? Links. Do you understand? Now this one is just links. Like this is meta chassis. This one is for our website. Like it's a line of code that our website can understand. This meta name too is more of, it's talking more of size. So you know there are ways you can view your website that, how would I explain this? There are ways you can view your website on a phone, on devices. So the various scales of the devices, your width, the height, you can be using iPhone, you can be using the same website. You will go, like, remember when we were going to Warp when we were young, Warp on your Java phone. You can go to Warp on your website on your laptop and it's still going to give you the same content. So this is where the meta name comes in and all these other codes associated with it. This is our head tag. This is it. This head tag, everything is within our HTML document. Our body tag too is also within our HTML document. Do you see everything I explained now? Look at our own code here. We have our HTML tag, we have head within the HTML tag, and we have body within the HTML tag. Do you understand? So yeah, so VS Code has like simplified everything for us. So all we just need to do is just like type some simple lines of code or just press your exclamation mark and you have everything you want. Do we understand that? I hope that explains the boiler template for HTML. So now that we have our boilerplate created by VS Code, I'm just going to go ahead and delete these lines of code. Bam. Yeah, so now we have our lines of code, our boiler template. Now, what this title document is, when you go to a website, let's say, where were we coming from before? I think free pick, yeah? If it's free pick, let's see, free pick. Now, look at this line here. Let's go to the home page. Now, you see this thing here? No, not this one. This one here, that is close to this free pick slash create designs faster. Can you see it? When you over free pick slash create designs faster, that's what title is. That is a title. This is a title. This is a title. If you click on our one, what does our one say? 127 blah blah blah. So let's go to our website and give ourselves a title. So what title can we give ourselves? Let's just say our first HTML document. And now we'll go back to this place, our search bar, the greater than arrow sign, then open lifestyle. So the shortcut is alternate L. So we can do alternate L or alternate L and alternate O. So I think you have to use both of them together. So can you see our this thing now? Can you see our title? What does our title say? Our first HTML document. Our first HTML document. So that is what the title is. This is what the title is. There's nothing serious. The title is just something that has to be at the edge or at the edge of our browser that tells people what the page you are viewing is. So if you look at FreePix page, if you look at FreePix page, what does it say? FreePix slash create great design faster. We can change ours to something like that too. So let's do this. FreePix create designs faster. Then contrast. By clicking on contrast, automatically it updates itself. It's like the live server updates it once it's saved. So once you save a file, it is automatically updated through the live server to the website. So you can view whatever changes you've made on your website by just clicking contrast. Do we understand? I hope everyone is following. Yeah, so that's that for titles. So now we are going to delve right into some of the major tags that we are going to make use of in our body. So now we are going to start with comments. What are comments? Or let's start with our header tags. So we have header tags. Header tags are tags that makes they are variations of sizes of text. So when you have a text that is bold, extra bold, semi bold, medium bold, regular, and black. For graphic designers, the black is like the highest um the highest thickness of a font. You understand? So let me just explain. This is H1. H1 is header 1, H1, sorry, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. We have 6 header tags in HTML. There's no more, there's no less, there's no H0, there's no H7, there's no H7, there's no H8, it stops at H6. So once you want to use a tag or anything, just know that H1 to H6 are the standard usable sizes. You understand? If you use H7, it's going to give you H6. If you use H0, it's going to give you H1. So anything after H6 is just like, how would I put it? Tautology. Or you are repeating the same thing twice but using different words. You can say a boy and a male, or a male and a man. Like it's the same gender. So what are you saying? Is that's tautology basically. So that's what we mean by using H7, H8. It's going to still give you H6, whichever way you want to use it. So now these are the head tags. They are known as header tags. Now the way we write header tags is the same way we write our head tag, our body tag, our HTML tag. So not like you press exclamation mark. No, you use the opening tag, less than arrow sign, H1, then close it. Automatically, see what um VS Code just did for us. Just completed it ASAP. ASAP. Can you see this? Like ASAP. We didn't need to even type in our closing tag. But one thing you should note is you have to know how to use you have to know how to like type in the tags yourself. Do you understand? Because if you rely on VS Code to always help you, it would, how would I put it now? It will not help you in a way that you would learn. It's going to help you. You know when you are writing exams and the teacher is always giving you a scope. When you go to another school, let's say for instance you write exams and you're always using AI, and they take you out to another school where AI is, or they take you to another location where AI is not available. What do? You will feel stuck and you will not be able to do anything. So that's the same thing with this VS Code. They can take it to another environment entirely, like Notepad. Notepad does not help. Notepad does not assist in completing tasks. You have to type everything yourself. Let me see if I have Notepad. I think I should have a Notepad. Yes. Notepad does not help you in completing your code. This is Notepad. This is as blank as Notepad comes. So when you want to write your code on Notepad, HTML, HTML plus tag, then we have our head, in our head we have our title, so what I am doing is trying to like create a file using Notepad. That's Notepad on my system, just the regular Notepad. You can have a Notepad on your laptop, you can have a Notepad on your phone. So this is me typing my codes manually. Do you understand? I'm trying to create H1 file that says this is another file done using Notepad. then I close the H1 tag. You see, I'm doing everything myself manually. It's taking me time, but I'm just trying to like drive home a point. Um, so now look at this. I'm the one that is having to like format my code, like tell it to go to the next line, like typing tab. Like imagine the stress I'm going through. Yeah. Now I'm going to save this, and it's let's see. Let me see if I can save it somewhere. Let's just say file.html. Desktop. So now when I go to my desktop, where is it? So I go to my desktop. This is the file here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah, this is the file. This one here. So now I'm going to try and open the file. I'm going to try and open the file, and yeah, voila. The same thing we wrote using VS Code. Look at the one from VS Code. Here's the one from VS Code. I think I'm trying to like find it here. So I think we are going to have to like compare both of them. Now, this is the one done on Notepad. This is Notepad, and this is the one done with VS Code. Like it's the same thing, but VS Code just makes your life easier and makes your life simpler and makes your work easier and simpler and seamless and sweet. Like look at the stress I have to go through just to type in this is another file done using this is it. Where's that code? Here's that code. This is it. This was done using Notepad. And here's VS Code. And this was done using VS Code. I think I should also type something within my H1. This is another file done using VS Code. Then Ctrl S. You see what happened there? Automatically it's reflected. Can you see? Now, the major difference between these two codes is that one actually made my job easier, while the other one actually stressed me. The other one stressed me because I had to like type everything one by one, bit by bit, like every closing tag I had to type. What I'm saying basically is you should also learn how to use the closing tag, because they might take you when you get your job, you might not get the luxury of some organizations are not really a fan of VS Code. Probably they are using other environments that you can use to code, but you should be conversant with using your tags properly. Know your opening tag and your closing tags. Know your opening tags and your closing tags. That's just the whole idea of this little exercise I've done. So let's go back to what we were doing. Where's my VS Code? Let's go back to what we're doing. So yeah, now we have our H1 tag, H2, H3, H4. So I think what I'm going to do is, because VS Code has made my life easier, I can just type H2, and you see it's giving me suggestion, and I click on it and I have my H2 tag. So I'll just type the same thing I typed in the H1. This is another file done using VS Code. So in order not to waste our time typing over and over and over again, I'll just copy this line, click on, go to the next line, H3. So the reason why I think some of you might be asking that the reason why am I always going to the next line? Why am I always going to the next line? So the thing, the idea of the new line is so that when you are writing your code, and let's say for instance your code, excuse me, your code is given to another person to read, it is easier to read because I can choose to do this. Yes, my code will still run perfectly. I can choose to do this, write everything on one line, then paste here, right? Like, look at this. This is a long code. Like, before someone will know where my H3 is, the person have to like move to the next line, then start pinpointing where is this, where is this, where is this. So in order to avoid all those stress, you just come to a new line. It's because it's for readability, if there's a word like that. It's for readability. So you need people to be able to like read your code. Do you understand? People need to be able to like read your code, because if your code is not readable and they give it to another person that is coding, the person might actually destroy the code, or the person might have to start afresh in recreating the code so that it can, clean it up. It is better to cook in a toilet that is clean than to cook in a dirty toilet. So if your code is not clean, it is a dirty code. And we all need to be writing clean codes, because clean codes is also equivalent to how people see you, because they say cleanliness is next to godliness. So when you write dirty codes that is all jumbled up and so mixed up, they will just look at you like, oh, this guy is not really a good engineer, or this guy or this lady is not really a good engineer. So like I was saying, H1, H2, H3, H4, paste down to H5, paste, Control C and Control V. For those of you who don't know how to copy and paste. So to copy, you select the file, Control C, and to paste, H6, Control V. Another interesting thing about VS Code is when you type, look at it, when I type H7, there's no suggestion. If I type H8, no suggestion. H9, no suggestion. H1, there's a suggestion. H2, there's a suggestion. H3, and down to H6, there's suggestion. But look at this, when I type in H1 for instance, after giving me the opening tag and giving me the closing tag, it leaves the cursor in the middle, because that's where you are supposed to write whatever you want to write. So when you want to put when you open the egg, the yolk does not go with the shell. The yolk is inside the egg. You understand? That's where the cursor is. The cursor is in between your opening tag and your closing tag, because that's how HTML is programmed to be. So now we are going to save this, Control S, or another way you can save this is going to File, then this is it, Control S, you just save it, Control S. Now we are going to go to our live server. So now another beautiful thing about the live server is this. Look at this, guys. Our bottom right, this, go live. It will be on your VS Code. Once you've installed live server, it will be there. There's no how you want to. So rather than coming to this port here to do your right arrow key, open live server, it's going to open quite alright. Do you understand? But in order to reduce that journey, you can just come to this place, live server, this port here. And most times when, okay, so let me explain something. When you've already used a server, okay, let's see, for instance, now go live, starting, it has given you a port, it has given you a server that you can use. You understand? That's where your code is being displayed upon. So if you want to view your code, you are going to have to like go to that server to be able to view your code. Do you understand? You are going to go to that server to be able to view your code, and voila, We have our code H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, and H1 again. Now, do you see the edge tags? So let's say for instance now, look at this, look at this. What tag do you think this is? Where is that? What tag do you think was used for this? What tag do you think was used for this? This is our H1 tag. It is as obvious as, like, use the H1 tag for the most obvious thing on your website. The most obvious. Excuse me. Like any text that stands out, like once you open a website, let's say for instance, let's do maybe uh, which website can we go to? Okay, let's go to stock or iStock. iStock. So the reason why I'm using all these images app is because I'm a designer and I get to use most of these apps, or most of go to some of these websites almost every day. So now look at this page. What tag do you think was used here? What tag do you think was used here? It is our regular H1 tag. No need to be dealing that, like any text you see that is as big as 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 the map of Nigeria on the world map, that's H1 tag. It's as clear as day. No, you don't need to like argue or start thinking too much about it. So this is our H1 tag here. This is our H1 tag. This is our H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Those are known as header tags. Do you understand? Those are known as header tags. Then there's a tag known as the paragraph tag. Paragraph tag. This is paragraph. This is paragraph tag. But in order to get the paragraph tag, the paragraph tag is just simply P. Can you guys see it? Just P, and you click on enter suggestion, and you have your paragraph tag. Do you understand? This is your paragraph tag. So let's paste the same thing we've been pasting in H1 to H6. This is another file. Then we Control S. Now this live server has given you a server already. In order to view this thing, in order to view the new changes we made, you can decide to go back to the website or to your browser where it was created. Here, can you see? Since we clicked on Ctrl S, our paragraph tag is already showing. Or you can decide to go to your VS Code to close this server. So once you close this server, anything you do here, let's say for instance, let's do another H1. I want food. Ctrl S. It's not showing here. Can you see? It's not showing here. I used H1 tag to create another line of code saying I want food, but it's not showing. Why? Because I have closed that server. So to the browser, that server is no longer existing. So in order to view this, we close that server and go live again. In order to view our changes. And once this is done, voila, I want food. Can you see? I want food. So the paragraph tag is for text. Just like the same way we have this iStock. This here, this line of code, this one here, it's a paragraph tag. This one here, it's a paragraph tag. It's not H1, it's not H2, it's not H3, it's not H6. Like, look at H6. Let me see if I can show you what H6 is. This is H6. This is H6. This line of code here is H6. Why this one is paragraph? This one here, upload an existing product image, blah blah yada yada. This find the right content for your project to paragraph. Now look at this. Look at this. We have a mixture of a bold text and a paragraph text. Now you on your own can now decide as the web developer or the web designer. You can decide to use whichever of the other tags. You can try to use H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, H7. There's no H7, sorry. But you can decide to use H2 to H6 and it will give you the same output. If you want your text to be bold, just use any of the other tags. You understand? Yeah. So next on our list is our image tag. Now, you know when I told you initially that we have our opening tags and closing tags, there are some tags that are known as, and it's not like they are known as open-ended tags. That's what we call them because they don't have closing tags. They only have themselves as a tag. Let me explain. For instance, you okay, let's say for instance you walk into a room and there's a door. You open the door, go inside and you close the door. That's one. There are some doors that have, what would I call it, rope or curtain. You don't open and close. You just walk through. It opens itself and it closes itself. Do you understand? That's the same thing as open-ended tags. And as an example of such tag is the image tag, also simply put IMG. Now it's giving you a suggestion. Just click on enter. Now we've created our image tag. Now by creating our image tag, we have what is known as SRC. SRC is the source. SOURCE, not SAUCE, the source of our image. That's the link of the image. And ALT is alternative. So the alternative means simply means, when blind people are operating gadgets and they click on something, they're supposed to be like an AI that speaks. This is the image of blah 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 yada yada yada. Let's say for instance I upload the image of a dog, and let's say for instance the link to the image is not working. It is the alt that is going to show. That's another usefulness of the alt. It is the alt that is going to show. Let's say let's go to iStock. Let's see. Let's look for a welder. Now we have the image of a welder, and we need to like upload this image on our website. Yeah, so you just right click, copy image address, go to your VS Code, click in between the quotation mark and paste. That's all. Then you save. Now we are going to close this server and open a new one, and it takes us directly. Can you see? The image is now displaying on our page. Now we took the image all the way from iStock. Took it into our VS Code, our code, and pasted the link in the source area provided to us. You understand? And our image is displaying perfectly. So let's say for instance our image is missing this equal sign. I don't know, how do I, let me see if I can ask. So how do I make my code fit in? I'm trying to see this. Okay. I don't know why it wasn't working, but I'm trying to see if there's a way I can make my code um fit into my view area. Um, okay, I think this is it. Oh yes, that is it. Oh, nice. Okay, so this is what I was trying to do. So let's say for instance we have this link to our image and the image is missing this equal sign, or the equal sign just got replaced with 000, or let's say the equal sign got replaced with hyphen Kayode, because that's my name, and we save. Now let's go to our website. Our image is no longer showing. Why? Because the code has been the link to the image is has been distorted or has been tampered with. So the image is no longer showing. So what when we fill in this alternative, we can say this is the image of a welder at work. Contrast, contrast, yes. And when you go to our page, look at it. It shows this is the image of a welder at work. The image is not showing, but the text shows. Why? Because it is a substitute for the image, in case the image is not showing. And for the blind people, it is going to tell them what is currently on their screen. Do you understand? So it helps with it's good in the sense that it takes into account everybody, both the blind, both the seer, both the hearer, and everything. Sure, you understand? So let's fix our code and change this back to our equal sign. Control save. Now let's go to our page. You see, our image is back, but the text is gone. Our image is back, but the text is gone. So the text shows when our image is no longer available. Do you understand? The text, this text, this line of code, this is the image of weather at all, only shows when our image source link is broken or is, how would I put it, bad. You understand? Now, this is one way of uploading images from websites. How do you upload, or how do you pick an image that is within your system or within your folder? So let's go back to iStock and let's say we download an image. Let me save this contrast because the image was still showing. Can you see? The image is no longer, the link is no longer there, but this image is showing. But let's go and download this image. Save image as. And shout out to iStock. Sorry, this is just copyright, just like give credit to Chris Ennis. Yes. So let's go. So we want to save this iStock image, and we are going to our folder soft journey Altschool Africa, and we are saving it within the Altschool Africa folder. Save. Look at it. Our file has just saved. So now let's go to our VS Code. How do we access this file, or how do we access this image? This is the image. It has been saved to our folder Altschool Africa. But how do we access this image? How do we take note of this image, or how do we import this image from our folder into our file? So one way to import it is by going to our root folder. Root folder is the origin folder, and the origin folder for this code is the Altschool Africa folder. So in order to locate a file within the origin folder, you click on dots. That's here. na here na here we dey. Do you understand? Dot here. Dot is used to signify here. Or you could as well just click on forward slash. If you click on forward slash, it's the same thing as saying root folder. The dot is just like how would I put it? To fulfill all righteousness, just to show that okay, something like check root folder, then within root folder you see image. Do you understand? If you want to go back 2 folders back, that's by 2 folders back, we are going outside Altschool, Altschool Africa into our soft journey folder. You do double dot and forward slash. Can you see our image? These 3 images, I don't know what is there, but it's an image, and within it is our Altschool. So now, if you click on double dot forward slash, you see you see the files. It's the same thing as doing ls, like going back to previous directories. Do you understand? So this is like one of the major ways to like navigate your way around these folders, or navigate your way around finding um, documents, or finding a way to link um, items to your code. But for the sake of this lesson, we are just linking our welder image, which is in the root folder. So you can do dot forward slash I stop image. You can locate the image, or you can do something like this: dot forward slash, click on the image yourself. Like, since you already know which image you are using, you can just click on the image yourself and Control S. If you now go to your website, there's it. If you go to your website, look at it. Everything is working perfectly. Everything is working perfectly. Yeah, so that's for image. I hope you understand. I hope you understand, because that's the whole idea of this video. This video is supposed to like break everything down for you to understand. So that's for the image tag. And the other tag, and another thing we want to focus on is the comments. So there is what is known as comments on there's what is known as comments on in HTML. So comments are like lines of text that you don't want to be visible in your code. So for instance, now look at this image, this text here, image. What if I don't want this? Okay, let me show you where this image is. This one here. Can you see this thing here? This thing here by the left. Yes, by the left. This thing that I'm highlighting here. It is a text, but I don't want it to show because it's going to mess up my design. I want my image to start from here, then flow all the way to this place. But because this text image is down here, it's disturbing my image. It's not letting my image balance, so it's not letting my website balance. So what I can do is comment out that text in a way that it doesn't show and it doesn't affect my code. So one way, the way we comment on in HTML is by using left arrow key, exclamation mark, dot dot, going to the front of the list, dot dot, like for what's this thing called now? 4 dot jars, or is it hyphen? Yeah, this is what it's called. Whatever it is, this dash 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 dash, yes, dash 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 dash. That's what is that's what I'm going to call it in this video. So yeah, this thing is known as a comment. It's known as a comment. So let's say I put this image in between the 4 dots. My image takes the color of the comment. Now, it doesn't mean that this is not available within my code. It is available within my code, but it is not going to be available on my website. Let me show you what I mean. Now, I'm going to save this address, then go to my website and look at it. It's gone. It's gone. Like nothing changed in my code. Okay, let's use for instance this one too again. Can you see this bastard here? Sorry, mind my words. I'm sorry. Now, can you see these guys here? H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Now, I want to comment them out. I don't like seeing them. They are not demure. They are not cutesy. They are not looking nice on my page. Do you understand? And I just need to like, comment them out because they are useless. So I'll go to my VS Code. Now, look at them here. Look at them here. H1, H2, H3. But initially when I wanted to create this comment, I did this. I had to like press the lesser than sign, exclamation sign, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think VS Code even completes it for you. 1, 2, 3, but normally it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, then the greater than sign to close, because that's like the closing tag for comment. But what I could do is click on the line of code and press Ctrl// and it comments it out. Simple shortcut, Ctrl and /. Do you understand? Ctrl and /. Then click on Ctrl S to save it. Go to your website and it's gone. No traces. Otilo. It's gone. Like these are like some of these shortcuts are very very useful and very very nice within our code, because when you use them within your code, it makes you code faster, and it helps you keep a neater focus on what you are doing. So when you come on your VS Code and you see a lot of gibberish and you say, I don't like this, I don't like this, or you are trying to work on a code and you want to see where this one is, what this one is doing, you can just comment that line of code out. Once you comment it out, you see, and you go back to your web page, you are going to see that, oh, this is what controls this is what controls this. Do you understand? So that's what commenting does on a website. Commenting, and you can use comments as well to like leave notes for a new designer. Let's say for instance now I want to leave a note that says this next line of code talks about the p tag. Now this is the line of code. If I should save this and go to my website, it's going to be there obviously. It's going to show. Look at it. This line of code, this next line of code talks about the p tag. But I don't want this thing to show. And I want another designer to come and look at my code, and let's say I'm giving the designer a roadmap of what does what and which code does what. Do you understand? Which code does what? So I can just comment out this code, and when I send this code or when I share a link to this index.html file with another web developer, web designer, is going to understand that okay, this next line here talks about the p tag. Do you understand? And this one talks about image, and under it you see image, then you see the h1 to h6 that has been commented out. Like it's a way of leaving a roadmap for other web designers to find their way around. Do you understand? So lastly, I don't know if this is lastly, but I think the video is going to be a little bit longer than anticipated. So I think next thing we're going to talk about is lists. So we are going to leave a comment that says the next thing we are going to talk about are lists. Control // to comment. Do you understand? Now in list we have what is known as ordered list and unordered list. Let me type it out. Um, Now, what I mean by ordered list, you know, when you go to a shopping mall and you have a list of number one, number two, number three, number four. Okay, now this is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of a ordered list. Everything is ordered: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, and so on and so forth. This is ordered list. Lists from 1 to 10. Let's say 1 to 10 and comment this out. How do you create ordered list? By using OL. It's as simple as the name posits or as the name explains. OL. Just take the first letter from ordered, first letter from list, and click on enter. It's going to give you an ordered list. Now within the ordered list, how do we know which is which? You can use you can use a paragraph tag within the ordered list, but the list numbers are not going to show. It's not going to give you a list. Do you understand? It's not going to give you a list. So in order to get a list, you use li. Click enter. Can you see this? Can you see this? Ordered list. To create an ordered list, you use ol for ordered list, ol tags for ordered list. And within the ordered list, you have to use the li, which is the list. So you say, okay, this thing is ordered list, but what are the lists going to be? So when you have the list, the ordered list is now going to give it number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's the whole vibe. So now let's say for instance you're going to a store. Okay, let's use the h1 h4 tag to say list ordered list of things to buy at the store. And the first thing on our list is book. Then we go to the next line, li. It's a pencil. Go to the next line, li. You say eraser. You can decide not to even go to the next line. You can just li. But like I said earlier, your code has to be neat. So because you don't want it to look all bulky and stuffy and choking and everything, you just have to like go to the next line. It's as simple as pressing enter. And again, one thing I've noticed about designers or web developers or software engineers, they press, there are two keys they press more that gives them joy. It is the enter key and the space key. They hit it with so much passion that you know that, oh, these ones are actually coding and stuff like that. Do you understand? So yeah, viral, what else? Jota, li. I pressed the enter key very hard. Bags, shoes, no, li, shoes, li, socks. I think so. Let's just leave it here. Now we look at what we have. We have an h4 tag that is telling us this is the ordered list of things to buy at the store, because we are going to the store obviously, and we need a list of things to buy for school. You understand? And we wrap our list in an ordered list tag. Ordered list OL. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. So within our Other list tags, we have book, pencil, eraser, biro, jotter, bags, shoes, and socks. Now we are going to save this and go to our website. Scroll down. Can you see our list is ordered? We have book, pencil, eraser, biro, jotter. Like everything is 1 to 8. Do you understand? That is a ordered and well arranged list. I hope you understand. Now let's go to the unordered list. The unordered list. We are going to use the same thing. The unordered list are lists that are not ordered. So basically, they don't deal with numbers, they don't deal with alphabet, they don't deal with anything. You know when you list something and you use something like iPhone, or you use something like star, or use something like a box. There's no order to it. There's no there's no sequential arrangement to it. It's just a list. So that's what the unordered list is. So let's do this list without numbers, and we are going to comment this out. Then use our H4 unordered list of things to buy at the store. And how do we create an unordered list? You have UL unordered list. The same way we have ordered list OL. And you click on enter, it's going to give you your complete code. And you click on list L, or you type LI to create a list. So just like the list we had in our unordered list, let's just copy these lines of code and paste. So the same thing we have in our ordered list is the same thing we have in our unordered list. So what do you think this is going to do? What do you think it's going to give us? It's going to give us a list without numbers, simply put. Just as simple as ABC. List without numbers. So let's go to our website. Now you see, this is ordered list 1 to 8. This is unordered list dot to dot. That's just the difference. One is ordered with numbers, 1 to this, the other one dot 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 dot. These are lists. These are lists. So the next thing we are going to is the section tag, the div, the section and the div tag. So when we talk about section, let me type it out. Section and so when we talk about section and div tags, so you know when you open a page and you see one section, you scroll down, you see another section. Let me see if we can find something similar. Okay, now look at this. Perfect. This from here up, this is one section. All these things together is another section. Still hold on. This one too. Find the right content for your project at the right price is another section. This section, the stock, the high stock difference, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, is another section. Like just as the name implies, it is a section. So let's say, for instance, look at this now. You can call this a section because it is a way of grouping things together. Let's say, for instance, I bought 15 apples. Okay, let's say I bought, yes, okay, let's say, for instance, I bought these 8 items at the store. Do you understand? I want to pack them. I can't pack all of them one. How many hands do I have? Just two. But what I can do to like wrap all of them together is wrapping them in a section tag. So this is a section tag. Just the same way you've been creating tags before. Section. This is it. Simple and short. Now the section tag does not do anything that will reflect on your web page. It doesn't do anything that will reflect on your web page. What it does basically is it gives you the developer a better way of organizing your things. So let's say I want to organize this my ordered list. Okay, let's start with the ordered list. So what I'll just do is this, just wrap it in a section tag. That's at the top and at the bottom. And with this line of code, section tag, I have wrapped my ordered list in a section tag. So if for instance I am coding and I code a page that requires me to like bring everything on my ordered list to that page. Hmm? Instead of selecting everything one, I can just select that section and move it to the other page. I hope that explains everything. Do you understand? It doesn't really do anything on your web page that you can see physically. But you on the back end, it helps you organize your code in a way that this particular code that has been wrapped with the section tag can be reused or can be identified easily. And the same thing goes for the div tag. The div is more or less like a a division, or how would I put it? An area, a div. There's a word for it. There's a word for it. I can't seem to like it's not coming to edge like currently, but yeah, a div tag is the same, serves the same function as a section tag. You understand? These things are not visible on your web page, but they are available. So how do you create a div tag? The same way you create a section tag, div, and that's it. So since we wrapped our ordered list in a section tag, we are going to wrap our unordered list in a div tag. And like I said earlier, they don't do anything special. They just help you wrap your code in a way that it is how would I put it? In a way that it is easier to access. You understand? In a way that it is easier to access. So far so good. We've been able to write about 60 something lines of code, even not minding the space in between, space in between, space in between, space in between. But by God's grace, we wrote 60 lines of code, so we're almost on our way there. Do you understand? And I hope you are following as we are doing these things, because they are going to be like very useful later on in future during the process of your journey. Yeah. So now we are on to classes and IDs. So for instance, what would you call a class? A class is a place where students go to learn. Have you? A class, that's a class. No, yes, but in HTML, a class is basically a group, or how would I put it? A class is an identifier. So you know the way every student has a name. Like for instance, my name is Kayode Johnson. Every student, Johnson is my surname. Kayode is my name. Every student have their own name. So in order to name or to call on a student, you have to call the student by the student's name. You can't go to a class and just shout student. That's what div and section does. You just go there. Like there can be multiple divs on your page, but there's nothing unique about them. You don't know which is which. You can call all the divs and all the divs will answer. You understand? But we need a way that we are going to be able to like identify which div exactly which div we are calling or which section we are calling. And that's where class and IDs come in. You understand? So classes are like the name, while IDs are like the surname. The reason why I say IDs are like the surname is because in coding or in HTML, IDs hold um, higher ranking to classes. So let's ask Vito which which is more stronger in HTML, class or ID. In terms of strength, look at this. In terms of strength, an ID is stronger than a class. If both an ID and a class are applied to the same element and have competing styles, the style defined by the ID will take precedence over those defined by class. What this is simply saying is ID is the senior brother of class. If they insult your surname, it's or if your if the same way you watch movies and when they want to like harm harm a person, they call the person by the surname in the pot or in whatever they do. I don't know anything about witchcraft, but in the movies, they will call your surname in a pot, not your name. They might call your name and your surname because your surname is the ID. It holds weight. Like the surname has been running from time immemorial in your family lineage. Do you understand? So it has a very strong, it commands more authority than classes. So that's what class and divs are. So in order to use a class, this is how classes are used. So you use a class within any tag. You can use it within your paragraph tag, you can use it within your h1 to h6, you can use it within your list, you can use it within any tag. So what how classes work is class equals to quotation mark, then you can now name the class. Let's say Kayode, and same thing for ID too. ID equals quotation mark Johnson. Now this is how these are used, but you can't use them outside a tag. The same way I use them here, you can never use them like this because they will never work. So the way you can use them, let's say for instance we use section. Okay, let's use section for example. We use class within the section head tag. So you know within the section opening tag rather, sorry. So you know we have opening tags and closing tags. This is our opening tag, this is our closing tag. Do you understand? Now in our opening tag we just type class, and automatically VS Code completes our code for us. So within the class you can just type Kayode. So let's say for instance you are writing other lines of code, or you are trying to beautify this particular ordered list. You are trying to like do some kind of touching, make ordered list that is in H4, make the H4 tag, make it a little bit reddish, make it a little bit greenish. Because if you go on your website now, nothing is happening. You understand? But you look at the page and feel like, this particular ordered list, this one, I think you can use red. I think we should make this one red and make this one blue. The way you can do that is by calling this class name. So this class name stands and represents everything in section. Do we understand? Class name represents everything in section. Look at the class name Kayode. If you call Kayode, it's only this section that will answer. Let's say for instance now we have multiple Kayodes in in um, in different sections. Let's say this is section 1, there's another section 2, there's another section 3, and all of them have the same class name Kayode. And you want to style Kayode, it is all the Kayodes that we answer in. You can't use the same name over and over again. The only instances where you can use the same name in class or ID is if you want to apply the same style to different sections. Let me give you an example. Look at this. Look at this. Now, when the person, let's say for instance, when the person was coding this particular line, when the person was coding this, let's say the person looked at it that okay, we are going to have 4 boxes on this page, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, rather than coding or designing all of them one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one, why not give all of them the same class name, so that when I am designing one class, it is applying to the 3 other classes. I hope you understand. Because when you are designing a web page and you use a class, or you use the same class for different sections or different divs, it's like you are you are having the same name for different pupils. Do you understand? Let's say for instance you are in a class of 20 and 20 people are bearing Kayode, and you call Kayode. How many people do you think will answer you? It's 20 people that will answer you, obviously, because they are all bearing Kayode. So when you give a name to a class, make sure that you are intentional about the name. The name um, should be relatable to the section you are. Let's say for instance you are designing a box, you can call this one box. You can, yes it. So sorry, yeah. So you can call this section that list. You can call it ordered list. You can call it things to buy. As long as these names are rememberable, or as long as you can easily recollect these names and know where they are located and situated, that's when you can give names to classes. And same thing applies to IDs too. Look at this div. Within this div, I have ID, enter, and it's going to give you the same thing. So you can just use Johnson, and that's all. So when you are calling Johnson, this is what will answer you. You can use, and again, don't use div, or don't say because I use ID on div, you have to use ID on div. You can use classes on div as well. Do you understand? I only choose to separate them because I want you guys to understand what I mean. You can use div IDs on section, you can use classes on section, you can use ID on div, you can use class on div, depending on what you want to use. But just note that IDs are higher in hierarchy to classes. Do you understand? So you don't mix it up. So when you have a code database, for instance, where the the previous engineer used a div and a class in the same opening tag, just know that whatever styling the id has is going to be ranked as more important than that of the class. Do you understand? Because in your CSS, let's say for instance um, you want to beautify one section of the page, or you want to beautify one part of the page. How do you pinpoint that part of the page? It is by using IDs and classes. I hope you understand. I hope you understand. Yeah. What else? 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 Okay, yeah. So I think this will be the last one. The last one is A tags. A, and these tags are known as links. What do I call them? Links. So when you want to link, or when you want to create a link, you know there are some pages where, for instance, now look at this. Look at this. Now, if I click on try it, this is a link. It's going to take me somewhere. If I click on this image video, if I click on it, it's going to take me somewhere. If I click on this, it's going to take me somewhere. If I click on this, it's going to take me somewhere. If I click on this, it's going to take me somewhere. These are done using the A tag. They are done using the A tag. The A tag is like, they are links. When you click on an A tag, it is a link. A tag is not, look at this. I can click on find the right content all I want, nothing will happen. But the moment I click on video or photos, let me click on video. You see, it is taking me to another page. That's what the A tag does. It takes, like, it is not static, it leads somewhere. So it depends on you. You can choose to like let it lead to Netflix. You can choose to like let it lead to like wherever you want it to lead to. Basically, you are the web developer. You know where you want your code to go, and you know what you hope to achieve. So how do we create a link tag? It's just as simple as pressing A and enter, and it gives you your link boilerplate. Now you can see href. What does this mean? It means it's the same thing as src in image. You see this thing here, src and href. They are the same family, just different name. Just the same way section and div are the same family but different name and different instances for you to use them. Href and src are the same thing. So now let's say for instance I want this link to lead to let's say Netflix. Netflix. So I'm currently watching a movie on Netflix. Kid. But this is not the link. So now I copy the link from Netflix and paste it here. Can you see this? Now this is a link. But when you save this and go to the website, to your page, nothing is showing. Nothing is showing. Like there's nothing to click that will take you there. Look at it, nothing is showing. That's because I didn't pass in any value between this tag. Look at this space. I didn't pass in any value. So if I create something like this link and I say watch Netflix GT Max movie, or click here. Let's do click here. So now this is it. Now I'm going to save this and go back to our web page. Can you see this? Click here to watch GT. This is a link and it is done using the A tag. So if I click on this, it redirects me to Netflix. Can you see? I hope you guys can see this. By clicking on that link, it redirects you to Netflix. But let's go back. Now, when we go back, it takes us to our website. But our website is not live. So this and many more are the power of HTML. You can embed a link, you can create a link, you can attach a link to another file, you can do whatever you want. Now, this is a link that is leading to Netflix. Hmm? Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Don't get lost. Now, what if we want to link to another file? So let's create a comment and say uh, this, or we can do the regular left arrow exclamation 1 2 3. See, this is a link to a Netflix movie. Now let's create another link to a file within our root storage. So let's do this. Let us create a file, create a link. Let us create a link to a file in on our device. Now, how do I say we create links? Enter. Now it has given us another boilerplate. But how do we know the files that are within our root storage? How do we know the files that are within our root storage? So you can do // and look at all the files within our root storage. We have index.html, we have sample 1 2 3 4 5. But there's a file within soft journey. That's I want to go outside this folder of Altschool Africa. And how did I say we can do that? By clicking twice. // Now look at it. We have access to our file outside Altschool Africa. So I'll just come down here, click on index.html because that's the file I want to link. Now this file is within my laptop, is in my device. It is not outside. You know, initially the first link was linking outside to Netflix. You understand? This is a link to Netflix. This one here, it is a link to Netflix, but this one is a link to a file within our folder or within our device. Do you understand? Now I'm just going to click on index.html. Now when you click on Ctrl+S, go to your page, it's not going to show. The only link that is here is the link to our Netflix. And we don't want to watch Netflix now, right? We don't want to watch Netflix now. Maybe after this we can watch Netflix, but for now we do not want to watch Netflix. So let's just go back to our code and give it a name and pass in a value. Let's say link to a random HTML file. Ctrl+S. Now let's go to our page. You can see the link is here, but one thing is going on. All our code is just writing on one straight line, but we want to break it. We don't want all our codes to just look so long on one line or on one line. You understand? We want to break them like the same way we've been arranging our codes in a way that it is clean, that we are writing one, like look at this, look at our codes 1 2 3 4 all the way to 71. We want to do the same for this. Okay, let's say for instance, let us start with section and div. You know, this is section and div. Here is section and div. This is section and div. It has its own line, yeah, but we want it on our VS code. It is showing as it is having one line, but in the browser it is not having one line. It is on a straight line. So tag we can use is the break tag. So what break does is it breaks a line of code. It's not like it breaks the line of code, it just brings it down to a new line. You understand? If you have a code that is very long and you want to like cut it from this end to come to another end, that's where you use the break tag. So the tag for the break is BR. Enter. That's all. There's no closing tag, there's no anything in between, just BR, and that is all. Control save, and let's go and check our page now. Can you see? Section and div is now on its own line. Let me comment break out. Save it. Can you see? It's back to the same line with class and ID class, yada yada yada. So we are going to break section and div, class and ID, class Kayode, ID Kayode, click to watch on Netflix. Like we are going to break all of them and give them their own lines. Yeah. So for this now, to uncomment, you can still use control / to uncomment. Do you understand? Or you could just come, delete this one, and delete this, and your code is uncommented. Now let's do the same for this break. Yeah, break. Now these are the lines of code that are on the same line. So you just break, then Control S, Control save, then go to your website. Can you see? They all have their own lines. So you can decide to click on link to random file. Can you see? Can you see? And the reason why it's doing this is because there's nothing in that HTML file. Let's go and open it and see. Here is it set. I think it's in soft journey. So look at this. Yeah, this is the index.html. Open with Visual Studio Code. If you open it, you find out that it is empty, nothing inside. Look at it, Altschool Africa is the best. That's all that there is inside. You understand? That's why. But in most cases, if it's where that, or we can do that, it leads to an image as well. You get. So let's do this. Delete this. So the same way we linked this image with source. That's the same way we are going to link this same image using a tag. So you use dot slash iStock image, enter. So now we have to change this link to a random image. And there's one trick. Let's say for instance you want them to be able to like download the image. You can just come within the open tag and just type download. And you don't need to like input anything between download, because if you input anything between download, it's just going to be like you are giving the file a name to download. Okay, let's say download Kayode. Yeah. Save it, then go to your website. Now when you click on link to a random, look at it. Did you see this? Look at this. Kayode. Do you see this? When you open it, it is our image that has been downloaded. Can you all see this? But if you don't want them to download the image, you can just take out this keyword here, download. You understand? And now you just have link to a random image. I'm going to save this and go back to our web page and click on it. What this does is open our image automatically. It opens our image automatically. So I think this is where we draw the curtain. This is where we draw the curtain. So I'm just going to do like a final recap. There's more to it, but I think subsequently we are going to make more videos about the HTML tags and make more videos about the major HTML tags that you are going to come across and use a lot in your coding journey. So first off, we talked about the HTML tag. This how the HTML tag wraps everything. Look at the closing tag here. Can you see HTML open tag and closing tag? Then inside the HTML tag, we have our edge tag. Our edge tag is the house for links. Let's say you want to link your CSS, you want to link your JavaScript, you want to link your forms, you want to link like so many things. Anything you want to link, it is within the edge. You get, and everything that is within the edge is not visible on your web page except title. So title, like I explained earlier, this is a title. This thing you are seeing here is a title. Look at iStock's own. iStock's title is stock video footage and royalty-free videos 4K plus HD. iStock. That is iStock's title. You understand? On our own web page, this is our title. Prefix slash. We can change it, like if you follow that along. If you follow that along, you will know our first document. If you followed along, you would know that these things can be edited and can be changed. Look at this. It has changed to our first HTML document. You understand? And also, we have the body tag. The body tag contains everything that is visible on your web page. So if you have something to write and you don't want it to be visible, and you want it to be visible on your web page, that people can be able to look at it, that people can look at it and see it like on your web page, like physically, everything goes within the body. So within the body tag, we have our head tags or our header tags. We have H1 to H6. H1 to H6. Then we have our paragraph tag. Paragraph tag is like the baby brother of the header tags. So you know when you have text to write, you use the header tags. There's also the image tag, what we use for linking or adding images to our page. That's this image, this one. That's what we use the edge tag for. That's what we use the edge tag for. Yes. What else? Okay, yes, we have the section tag and the class. Section tag and the class. Section is like grouping things together, and class is like giving it a unique name. You understand? And we use the ordered lists OL to create a list of things to buy at the store that were written in orderly fashion 1 to 8. And we use the unordered list to list out things we wanted to buy at the store. Dot 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 dot. They were not ordered, they were just things that we just wanted to like notes. You know, the same way you use asterisks in your notepad or in your writing, or you use box, or you use something just to like signify that this is a new text or a new image. Yeah. And we used another list. We used div as well, and we gave it a unique ID. So ID is like class, but it's like the senior brother to class. It holds more higher ranking than class, if you check. Yeah, so what else? We use the breaker tags, breaker, and we use the link tags. Link tags. So first link led to a Netflix movie, and second link led to an image within our root folder. So I hope with everything we've done today, I hope you've been able to like learn a thing or two. Also, the other HTML tags that we still have to like talk about, we have section, we have article, we have iframe, like a whole lot. We have audio tag, we have font tag, we have like there's a lot to talk about. But then in subsequent videos, we are going to be analyzing them one after the other. You can check out for the next video to see how we are going to use most of these tags. But till then, peace. Catch you guys later. Bye guys. Yeah, cheers. So see you guys next week.